Hi again with a new video, a new season, and a new project. We basically finished the 2025 season. We are at the beginning of December, so we still have 1 month of 2025, but the season is over for us, meaning that the construction of the nativity scene diorama, it's finished because the exhibition is already open. And right now, what I do is I start planning the next season, the next building, the next diorama. I know that it's early. I know that a lot of people do not think about the nativity diorama until September, October, but I like it. So I think about it all year round. And I actually enjoy this planning phase a lot. So basically, for next year, we will have to build two dioramas. One is the big one in Parets, and then we have to build the second one that is gonna be much smaller. Still, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be 5 meters and 2 meters, so it's 10 square meters, which is big, but not as big as we are used to. So we started to plan that one, and we already have an idea of what are we gonna include. And in today's video, I'm gonna start with one of the figurines that we will need for the diorama. We decided that we want to include a herd of cows that they are moving up to the high mountains to graze for the summer. In nativity dioramas, we've seen a lot of sheep herds, but not that many cow herds. So we will need many different things. We will need cows, we will need shepherds, we will need the trees, we will need to build the diorama with the slope and the path going up. And that's going to be for another video, for another day. But I will start with the figurines, and I will start with one of the figurines, and it's gonna be one of the shepherds. And I know that this shepherd has to be looking up at the tree, so we're gonna do that. So in this video, we will see how I model and print and paint this figurine, and in other videos, we will see the rest of the figurines, the cows, the path, and everything else put together. So let's start. We start the process by searching for references, and I ended up with this one that I like. So I cropped the image to only have the man and remove everything else. Then I go to ChatGPT and I ask her to create an image of a figurine with the same pose as in the picture, but with clothing suitable for a nativity diorama. And after a couple of minutes, I have this image that was created by ChatGPT, and it's not bad. Anyway, I never stay with the first image that I'm presented. I usually keep going and I keep asking ChatGPT for more versions or with changes. And I also go to Night Cafe Studio and I create my images there. So I have a handful of them or more that I can then choose from. Alright, so let me show you what are the images that the AIs have created. They have created more, but I have pre-selected a few of them, so let's see them. This is the first one that I already showed you. Then it created this one, which is not bad, but I didn't like the feel. By the way, I discarded the initial one just because the shaft is on his left hand and like it's not balanced. It's an not believable pose. So I had to discard this one, although I liked it very much. But just because of the shaft, I had to discard it. Then this one that I also discarded it. Then I had this one, which I liked. And so I kept asking versions of this one because this one I liked a lot. And one of the things that I do not like about this one is that it's wearing sandals instead of shoes. And the part of wearing sandals is that it's super difficult to paint. So I kept asking variations of this one where everything was exactly the same except for the shoes. I wanted shoes instead of sandals, and I kept asking, and I got this with the shoes, and then this one. So I got those two versions, which are not bad, but I like the first one better. By the way, it also offered me this one, which is like, what? It has nothing to do with what I was asking. And this one, yeah, sometimes you have that with AI that they do whatever they want. Anyway, so I ended up choosing this one, but I decided to paint the shoes myself. I'm not a digital artist at all. I don't do Photoshop because I don't know how to use it. And I just use this paint.net free software, super basic. And so what I did is I used the pretty basic tools that I have to just paint over those shoes a bit, so that the next step, which is to present this picture to another AI to create the 3D model so that it would understand. Maybe it didn't end up looking super great, but I only wanted it so that the AI could understand it as a shoe and not as a sandal. And now what I do is I go to hitm3d.ai and I upload the image. I select a couple of parameters and then click generate. Now, this is a paid service and I have tried others, but to me now, as of December 2025, this is the one that I have tried that is working best for my use case, which is 3D printing. I don't know in 6 months if there will be other tools or other services that will perform better or not. Just AI is moving so fast that basically every some months I try different tools. Also the ones that I tried before that were not working in the past, I try them again in the future. So, but for now, this is the one that I'm using. And after some waiting, I get the first results. This is the result that I get. It looks like the image that I uploaded. Overall, it looks good. Of course, if you look around in the back, it has this weird belt that should not be there. If you look at the hands, they look crappy. They look too big. And yet, this is always the case that you have parts that are pretty good and parts that are not that good. But with this service, you have 3 free retries. So what I do is I max out, I try them all, I run them all, and at the end I get 4 models, and then I am able to pick which one was better. So I have here the 4 models that the software has created, and now I have loaded them into Blender, and I have to decide which one I'm going to use as a base, and also if I'm going to do any changes, because for some I like better the shoes, from other model I like better the face, from any of them I like the hands, so I will have to do something with the hands. But yeah, now it's figuring out which one I'm going to use as a base and start mixing it all together. All right, so I tried. I chose the second figurine, the second from the left, to be the base one because that's the one that had the most elements that I liked. It's just that for the third one, I like the shoes better, so I decided to try to take the shoes from one and blend them in the other one. And I was trying, and probably I didn't try hard enough. As I was doing it, I just realized that I would probably end up with a pretty okay result if I try. It's just that it would take a lot of time. And I don't know if I want to spend that much time there now, because this year I want to do a lot of figurines and I cannot work that much on each figurine. I need to learn more how to use Blender, how to do digital sculpting, and for sure, once I know more, I will be able to do those sort of things easier and with better results. So for the next weeks, months, years, I don't know, I will continue to learn the tools, and maybe I will do some bigger projects. But for this one, I think I'm gonna keep Shepherd 2 as it is, and just maybe sculpt some of the details on the shoes, sculpt out actually some of the details of the shoes that I don't like, and call it a day. With digital sculpting, that's so easy because I just have to do Control Z and I'm done. So I'm gonna continue from here and make my life easier. Now I was thinking what to do with the hands. How do I solve the hand problem? I'm not gonna sculpt it because I'm not there yet and it would be a mess. So I need to find another way. One way could be to ask the AI software to do it again. And I found that when you upload an image that has a lot of detail, in this case it was full body, so the head, the hands, the bows, the clothing, it was a lot of things. It does pretty good job overall, but it messes up some places as with the hands. But if you do a small section, in this case maybe I crop the picture and I just send the hands, it might do a better job. And actually I'm trying it right now, and it's going. And basically what I did is I cropped the picture, but not only the hands, because I thought that maybe it was hard to understand. So I did from half the body up, so it was the hands and the head, but not the rest of the body. And I want to see if that works best. And the other thing I did is I asked ChatGPT to recreate the image, but with a different camera angle. So to show the picture from this view, so that we can see the hands from a different angle, and see if the AI can then do a better job. And it did. So now I have to isolate the hands and blend those hands into the other model. So, little update. Yesterday, I finished blending the new hands with the old model, and I think it went pretty well. The hands could be even better, but now they are way better than they were. So I think I'm gonna leave it here. I'm not gonna try to improve it further. So what I also did yesterday is that I did a copy of the model, because I wanted one that was like facing up, looking up. So I did in sculpt mode using the pose brush. I tried to change the pose. Then it created some artifacts here that I had to smooth and I had to work out. And before going to bed, what I did is I set the printer to print the two versions, the one looking straight and the one looking up. And this morning when I woke up, problems. What happened? And here I have my problems, the two versions that I was trying to print. The printer failed. Basically what happened is that I ran out of filament midnight, and the printer was waiting for me to change the filament. I did that when I woke up this morning, and then the printer went ahead to continue the printing, but one of the two detached from the base, and so I had to cancel basically. That's sad because now I will have to throw that away. And I should have printed one and then the other, but I wanted to have them both this morning, so that's why I knew I should not, because if it fails, now the two of them fail, and I have double the filament that I have to throw up. If I only printed one and it failed, it only failed once. So I knew that because it has happened to me so many times. But anyway, so right now I am printing again, but only one. Anyway, I saw little things that I want to improve for the next print, especially for the one that is looking up. In the computer, it looked like it was looking up. Now that I have it in my hands, you can barely see the difference. Like, you would say that both are looking straight. One is looking straight like this, one is looking straight like this, but they are both looking straight. No one would say that I did that change, but you can still see the artifacts that created here. Even though I smoothed it a bit, you can still see it. So I will have to go back to Blender, go back to the first version, and do it, like move the head, but way more. I will not use the pose brush in the sculpt mode. I will try with edit mode and the proportional editing, or I don't know how the is it called, but I will do it in edit mode and see if I can do a better job. And then for the hands, I'm gonna smooth a couple of details, like on the knuckles. I see this the line too sharp, and I want to smooth that a little bit. But that's just little details that I could go without. What I also like is the staff. I think it's pretty stiff and it's gonna work out. I like the clothing. I like the cape. I don't know about the pants or the shoes because I don't see it yet, but I think it's gonna look good. I think it looks good. It just let's go back to Blender and let's move his head. It's been a month since I filmed the last clip. Now we are at the beginning of 2026, and a few things have changed. The first one is the setup of my office, my desktop, so that it looks better on camera. The second thing is that I continue to model and create some figurines and also some cows, but that's gonna be for another video, because on this one we are gonna focus on the three figurines that I have here printed. The three versions, the one that was looking straight, slightly up, and more. That's the last one that I did. I'm pretty happy on how it turned out, because now that I did it with edit mode, it looks way better. There are no artifacts here, so I think it looks pretty good, and I'm gonna go with this. And now for the next step, which is painting. All right, so I said painting, which is correct, but before painting, we need to do some prepping. What I do is I use a water-based filler. This one, basically, it's a normal one, the one that you would use to cover holes in walls before painting. So, but I had a problem yesterday. This one, I had very little, and it was kind of dry. And then I had another one, and this one was too wet. So I did what I could, what I had. I also managed to break two of the shafts and I had to fuse them together again. Now, I was saying with the filler, why do I use filler? Basically to cover small imperfections, and also because I'm printing with a filament printer, and even though they got way better over the years, you can still see the printing lines. And what I do with the filler is that it covers those imperfections and it covers those layer lines a bit, so that then you don't see them as much. I didn't have enough filler to cover everything as I wanted to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go buy new filler and I'm gonna fill it again and I'm gonna sand it down, and then I will be able to start painting. Well, now finally I have the figurines ready to be painted. I basically finished the filling, the sanding, and the priming. I primed it with this black and white. That's how I like to start painting. And I will start painting basically with this collection of colors that I have created for myself. Basically, I have been mixing colors that suit my style, that suit my diorama. To create those colors, what I did is I search for references and I search for colors that I like, and I send the image to ChatGPT and I ask her if she could give me the proportions, the exact proportions that I needed to mix from the base colors to obtain the color that I was aiming for. I did the mix and I kept it in those pots so that I can reuse it and have consistent colors across the different figurines and across the different diorama. So let's go painting. All right, so the other day I started painting, and basically I always start with the easy ones, with the easy colors, the one where there is no choice. Started with the skin color. I also the shaft, which has to be a brown, no choice here. And for the shoes, I usually choose dark brown, and I tend to use the same one in all the shoes. So those were the easy choices, and I start here. And now the next step would be to start choosing which colors to use and which colors go better together for the cape, for the pants, for everything else. That's a toughest choice. I don't exactly know yet how I'm gonna paint it, but I prefer to start with the ones that are easy to choose, and then move on to the rest. Of course, later I will probably have to retouch the skin color and I will have to retouch some of the colors that I have already applied, but that's not a problem. That's gonna be the last phase, the retouching. But yeah, so I'm gonna continue. I don't know yet which colors I'm gonna choose, but I'll figure it out as I go. I finished painting except for the face that I will do last. And tomorrow what I will do is some retouching, because while painting one color, the brush got over the other color, and I don't worry much when I'm painting about those stuff because I know that I'm gonna do retouching. And in order to exactly know which color I used in which part, I took notes in a notepad. It helps that I keep it in different pots. If I did not have the color saved, then it would be harder to do the retouching. But since I started creating my own colors, it's been easier. For the colors, I have limited palette right now, so I just did some combinations. I don't know if they are the best combinations possible. So I will let you decide, so put it in the comments. Which combination do you prefer? So I'm gonna go to sleep, and tomorrow I will continue with the painting. I know that I still have to do the face, and I have to do the washes, and I have to do the dry brush at the end, but I'm just not feeling it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish now, leave it in the shelf. I will continue to do more videos. I will continue to do more figurines. And when I have a few more, one day that I'm feeling it, I will do the finishing. So let's wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Remember that you can visit the exhibition during the months of December and January. That's when we are open. I will leave a link in the descriptions. And please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel so that you will be able to see more like this. See you soon.